Hi guys, welcome to another video. So in this video we are going to be building out a Telegram mini app using Assetchain Telegram starter kit. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So before we start, I do love to show you what we are going to be achieving by the end of this video. So this is actually what we are going to be building out, and we'll get to this point at the end of this video. So it's a tap to earn, basically a mini app where you can just click and then you get points for clicking. So there are still other pages which we are going to be building out progressively as we go on, but for this video we are going to be building out this interface, and you'll be able to tap and earn, and you also be earning in seconds. Like you can see here, it's automatically incrementing, and also while you tap you get points. I already created a folder, an empty folder. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my terminal. So I'm just going to click on terminal here and then new terminal. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to try and access the Assetchain starter kit. Right, so I'm just going to quickly grab the link here, and I'm also going to drop that in the description. So I'm going to paste that, and it should get us to where we can access the starter kit. So here it says clone this repository below to use it as a boilerplate. So this is basically a boilerplate, a Next.js boilerplate application. So what we are going to do is we're going to access this. I'm going to copy this up to this point, right? So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to open up another tab and paste this, right? So just for you to see where this thing sits. So this is basically the boilerplate application. Just has connect wallets already in it. You can connect your Ton wallet, connect your Ethereum wallet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to git clone. So since I've already grabbed that link, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to say it's clone. I'm going to paste this, and since I already created a folder prior, so I'm going to put a dot, which means I'm telling you that I want you to clone this repository into the current folder. And if you don't put the dot, it's going to basically create another folder inside this mini app folder. So I'm just going to put a dot, and I'm going to click enter. So it's just going to quickly clone that. And okay, so once that is done, I want to do something. I want to go to my file explorer. So, and because I want to create my own git repository and push to it, so I'll first come here, then to show hidden files, Control Shift. I'm using Mac, so I'm going to press Control Shift dots, right? So I'm going to see dots git folder, but I think for Windows you'll be able to see it even without having to unhide hidden files. So I'm going to delete this guy. Where's my delete? Move to bin. Right, so once I'm done with this, so the next thing I want to do is I want to go back to my VS Code. So once I'm here now, I don't have a git repository, right? So I want to go to okay, before that I want to run npm install so that it will install my packages. So while that is installing, I want to go to my git repository, go to my GitHub accounts. It's for Amarachi, and so here now I'm going to click on repositories, and I'm going to click on new repository. So now I'm going to create maybe mini app tutorial, right? So I'm just going to make it okay, it's public already, so I'm just going to click on create repository. So once this is done, I want to initialize my project here to be a Git project. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to run git init. So git init. So the next thing I want to add everything that I have here. So I'm going to git add all. So once I'm done with this, I can just basically come here now and I'm going to grab everything here from this place up to this point, and I'm going to say I'm going to paste it. Okay, I think I didn't really grab it. Copy, paste, then it's just basically going to upload to my GitHub repo. So when I refresh, I have this, right? So I've been able to upload my initial project. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run npm run dev so that I'll be able to see what I have, right? Npm run dev. So this is going to start my project. So I'm just going to control or command click. So it's going to open up the project. So you're going to see what the boilerplate looks like. This before we've done anything to it. Okay, it's coming up. So this is throwing some error. It's coming from the don't connect. I think for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to let this be for now, and we're just going to proceed, right? The good thing here is that this starter kit came with Tailwind CSS, so you don't have to worry about installing your own Tailwind CSS afresh. So it came with Tailwind CSS already. So, and Tailwind CSS is a very good CSS framework if you're looking to learn any. So we're going to head to SRC and we're going to go to icons. So I love to have my icons very structured, so with types and the UI, right? So I'm just going to quickly come here and grab some icons that I use often, and I come here. I'm just going to paste it, right? So this basically contains the type of my icon. So if I have multiple icons, I basically specify the types here. So inside the UI is where I now find the different icons that I use. So for this particular project, which is here, we have coin icon, we have friend icon, hamster icon, and all of that. So from this index.cs, I more like export all the icons such that when you're trying to import this, you don't necessarily have to say /UI/coin.css. So once you get you can import coins.css just from UI, right? Icon/UI. So that's the whole idea of this. So you have a very short import part, right? So I'm going to go ahead to delete these guys because I won't be needing them, right? So I'm just going to copy this guys. It's going to throw some error, so but I'm just going to delete, move to trash. Right, so now I have my icons ready. So the next thing I want to do is I want to create a layout folder. So this is basically what's going to wrap up the whole of my applications, right? So I'm going to come to components. I'm going to create folder, create layout. I'm going to call this layout and I'm going to click on enter. So inside my layout, I'm going to have I think I'm going to put the layouts, right? So rename, I'm going to call it layouts, right? So inside my layouts, I'm going to create a dashboard folder. So this is just me setting up my structure. I'm going to create dashboard. The whole idea here is that when you come to the layout of your application, right? Some applications will have landing page, which most times will have a different layout from the dashboard page. So, but now since we are just jumping into the dashboard, I'm just going to create a layout for the dashboard, right? Subsequently, when we are building and we have a need to have a landing for this particular application, we are going to create another folder inside the layout, calling it landing, right? And thereabout, depending on how large application is. So this structure basically helps you to have like a more manageable project, right? So now I know that the layout that I see is meant for dashboard, right? And that's it. So once I've done that, the next thing is I want to create more folders inside this dashboard, right? I'm going to create a data folder, I'm going to create a leap folder, I'm going to create a UI folder. So let's just jump right into it. So next I'm going to click on this folder. I'm going to create data, click on dashboard, create leap, click on dashboard, create UI, click on dashboard, create which other one, types, very important, types. Then I think that's all. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to create an index.ts file. So this is basically the same thing I did with the icons. I'm going to export everything from these other folders inside the index, so that if I want to import any components from this folder, I just have to get to dashboard, layout/dashboard. I don't have to explicitly go into the particular folder where this component is. So I'm going to create I'm trying to create a folder. So I'm going to click on dashboard again. I'm going to click on index, file icon rather, index.ts, right? So now that I've created my index.ts, so I'm going to just come to my data. So each of these files, each of these folders also have their own index, right? So just follow me through the structuring, right? So the data now have its own index.ts, right? So inside the data now, I'm going to create a dashboard footer menu, right? So here now, I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it .ctsx, right? So basically, I'm trying to create this guy here now. I'm trying to create this guy here from the demo. Right? Come here and paste this, right? So now that I have this, you can see that there are some errors. It means that I need to define a dashboard menu, the dashboard menu item props with my types. Currently, we don't have that. That's why you have this error. So also for this one, I think we should move our icons into the components. So I'm just going to come here and drag it into components, right? So once that is done, I'm just going to comment this out and comment it again. So now we want to go to types and define our dashboard menu item props. So from here now, we go to types. So types is currently empty. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to also create an index.cs file. So inside them, I'm just going to paste my type. Right, so this is my type. I'm going to save this and I'm going to come back here, kind of comment this out, and we are good. So I'm going to save this file too. So just to make sure that we don't have any errors. And one good thing about this starter kit is that it already has connect wallet functionality. So this now basically helps you connect to both Ton wallet and also EVM wallets, right? So but for now we are not doing any connection at the moment. Subsequently we're going to be using that. So I'm going to come here, click on this up to this point and delete, right? So I'm just going to look for hooks. So this is basically use EVM wallet, use Ton wallet. We're going to be using all this subsequently, but for now, just to make our application cleaner, I'm just going to delete, trash, details. I'm just going to pages, context. Just going to do the same thing to trash, sheets. So these are very, very important folders, right? So we are going to come back to them. All right, so let's know where we still have issues. App image at pages. Do I still have pages? So right now what I just have in my components is I have my icons, I have my layout, dashboard layout. And so now we are going to inside the app. Okay, we now have our page. So I'm just going to just have this here, just maybe a simple hi, just to keep things clean. And then inside my layout, I'm still going to work on this, but since it's not showing in here, so what's no such for the regular pages. So okay, side pages. Okay, let me get back to this page. Let me see if everything turns out survival. So I think I'll just stop this application then start it again. So let me see if it's the same issue. All right, I think everything works great now. So at this point you can now start building out what we have. So the next thing we're going to do now that we've I'm going to close this. So now we've been able to define our dashboard footer menu. We're going to go into our lib and I'm going to create another index.ts file, and then I'm going to also create a utils file .ts, right? So inside my utils, this is basically where I'm going to be adding my utilities. So the next thing I want, what I want to add in my utils is active part, because I want to use this to know if a user is in a particular part, if it's in the dashboard part or friends or airdrop or coins. So to know how to style my dashboard menu. So I'm just going to come here and define my is active part, right? So this is basically saying if the current part and the href match, then we are going to return true or false, right? So I'm going to save this and close it. So I'm going to go to my lib and I'm going to export everything from exports all from /utils, right? So this basically means that if I want to access its active parts, I don't necessarily have to get states that I'm getting it from utils.ts. I just need to access lib and I'll be able to access that because it will hit index.ts and then it's going to find this because I'm exporting everything from utils. Right, so I believe you get the point now. So once this is done, I'm going to go to my UI to create our dashboard footer, right? So I'm going to go to the UI. So now just follow the structure. So in the UI now I want to create a dashboard footer. So I'm going to create on file and I'm going to name it dashboard footer.layout.ts. So once I've created this thing now, I also need to create another file. I'm going to call it the dashboard shell on dashboard layer shell.ts. So you know why I did this here. So I'm going to paste this guy. So inside this place now, I want to run React's function arrow component export, and then this is it. So this now, I'm going to save this. So here now I want to import my dashboard footer menu, right? Remember we defined dashboard footer menu. This is basically what we have here, right? So you can see the exchange, the mine, the friends and all of that. So I'm going to add here. So I'm going to paste this, and so this is not yet working now because I haven't exported haven't exported all I have inside of this folder from here. So I'm going to say export all from so what I'm going to do now is inside the data I'm going to export all from / this. I'm going to save it, and then coming back to this, I'm going to save this and I'm going to close it just for cleaner look. Then also I'm going to close this, close this too. So here now we've been able to access dashboard footer menu. I'm going to just paste this with CSS styling. Also a little styling here, and then so now what we want to do is that we want to map through our dashboard footer. So I'm just going to have this, and I'm going to say dashboard footer dot map. Then we are going to call each an item. Each of these items we want to have a link, right? So and also the name. So I'm just going to have this here. So we're going to import link from next link, and also remember when we define is active path in our utils file. So this is just for us to know if we are in the current path and then have some specific styling. So we also need to define path name. Path name, you're going to be getting that from use path name. So I'm just going to come at the top of my components and paste it. And use path name, we also need to import use path name from text navigation, right? So here and this. So now we have this. I think I'm just going to copy everything here and cut. I'm going to come to this place. It should be in the layout. Then make sure that this is TSX file, because TSX, right? So this is it. We are going to change this Control D to dashboard layout, just dashboard layout. So here we're going to React function arrow component export. So now we have this generated for us. This is our dashboard footer, and we want a shell, right? It's more like a parent div. So now I'm going to import this guy, which is dashboard footer layout. So I want to define the type of this guy. So it's going to be a react.fc, right? And I'm going to specify it's going to, so it's an object and it has children, and that children is react node, right? So now I've defined the type of, because this is going to wrap up other components, so I want to define the type so that TypeScript to know that this is going to accept React nodes, right? So I'm going to save that. So the next thing I want to do is that inside this div, I want to destructure the children, right? So children are just all the components that will come into it. So here I'm just going to add a little styling to this, and also I'm going to destructure children here, right? So the next thing I want to do is I want to add children to this place, and when that comes is now my dashboard footer layout, right? My dashboard footer rather. So now what I just did now is that I have this dashboard layout is this guy, right? This is the layout, and then this is just the footer, right? So every other thing that comes before the footer would always sits on top of the footer, right? So every other thing that is passed onto this dashboard layout shell is going to be covered by these children, and the dashboard layout is always last, right? So we can see the structure I have here now. So I'm going to quickly save that. Then the next thing I want to do is that I'm going to go to my app. So now I want to be able to display my dashboard layout in my general layout. That's the output of Next.js. So inside my layouts now, I'm going to wrap my children with the dashboard layout shell, right? So I'm just going to replace this with this. I'm going to import my dashboard layout shell. So now, and if I save this, we will see a change. All right, so one thing with Next.js has server components and client components. So when using any of these hooks like use effects, use state, use path name, you have to specify that this particular component is a client component. So I'm just going to go back to my dashboard footer layout, and I'm going to come here, and at the topmost part of my file I'm going to say double quotes use client, right? I'm going to save, and that should be able to clear the error I have. So you can see now that my dashboard footer is sitting nice, right? So we are still going to work on these other pages, but yeah, so everything works now. So the next thing I want to do is I want to specify the fonts that I want to use. So I'm just going to go back to my layout. So in case you want to use a different font for specific fonts for your application, this is the way you can do it. So let's say you don't want to use the ones provided by these guys by default. So I can also come here and delete this guy since I'm not using them anymore. So I'm also in the habit of deleting things I don't use, right? So remove this guy. So I'm also going to remove these classes too, right? Since I don't want to use them at the moment, right? So everything should work great now. I want to use enter and man robe. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to import that from Next.js fonts. So the good thing with Next.js is it already have Google fonts in the package, right? You don't necessarily have to go and start defining your own fonts, right? So I'm just going to import enter and man robe from nest/font/Google. So I'm going to define the properties of this my fonts. So this is basically define the subsets, the display, the variable, the weight. I just want to use 400, 500, 600, and 700. You can use 300, right? So, and this is just what I want. So depending on the specification you want, you can go ahead with that. So now that I have this, I need to add that to my general layout. So I'm going to come to my body, and I'm going to add this class name. So I'm going to close this up with this. Yeah, and this should work great now. So I've been able to specify my own fonts. So now the next thing I want to do, I want to go to my pages, right? Page.csx. So I'm now going to start building up my components like we see here. I'm going to start with this, and we'll go forward. I'm going to quickly paste this. So this is going to be, returning this. So instead of using this, I'm just going to close this in brackets. Not that one, just one, right? So I'm going to import Hamster. So let's check that. So this, let's see, maybe it's more than expected. Okay, yeah. So now we have this. You can see that we have Amarachi. Things are coming together. So another structure that I love using modules. So now I'm going to go to the SRC folder. You come to SRC folder, I just have my app, my components. So I don't like to add another folder. I'll call it models, right? Inside the models, I'm also going to create dashboard model. Inside the dashboard, I'll create exchange, right? Right, so this is just basically going to be every model that has to do with exchange would be in exchange. Subsequently, we are going to have model for mine, friends, and airdrop. So this is modules for dashboard. So if I have modules for landing, I'm going to also add landing here. So this is just going to help me have a very structured application. So just like we did for our dashboard layout, I'm also going to be creating a lib folder. I'm also going to create data folder. I'm also going to create UI folder. I'm also going to create inside exchange. I'm also going to create types. So I think I'll stop with this for now. So like always, I'm just going to come and create a new file, index.cs. So just for time, I'm just going to copy this, come here, paste, here, paste, here, paste. So now we have this. So the next thing I want to do, look at this, we have more like a level, legendary, and all of that. So I want to create a data static for now. So I'm just going to go to my data index and I'm going to create these levels and their criteria. So you can see now it's an array of different levels and there is comment to it, bronze from 0 to 4999 and all of that, right? So I'm going to save this. So now that I've defined my levels, I want to go back to pages inside my app. So inside my pages, I want to add my level or rank per se. So I'm going to come here and then paste this guy, and then I need to import level names, which is from my data. Then I also need to define the level index, right? So this is going to be a use state and it's just going to sit right here. For now, I'm just going to use a static level 6, and I'm going to import use state from React. So now everything works well. So when I go back to our application, it's saying okay, the same thing happens here. I'm going to come here and use effects, use clients rather. Use client, and I'm going to save, and that should be able to clear the error. So you can see now. So we need this little bar here. So we're going to go to utils. We are going to go to our modules, and I'm going to go to lib. I'm going to create another file, call it utils.ts, and before I forget, I want to export all from /utils, right? So with that saved, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to calculate my rank level. So this function basically does that. So level points, I'm also going to define that in data. So with this now, we can just clean it up a little, right? So I'm going to go back to my data, and then this is my level points, right? I'm going to save that, and we have, this is working great now. So now we want to go and create this find progress. We're going to go back to page. So here now we are going to have this here and calculate progress, which we have already defined in our utils. It's expecting some parameters which are going to pass that. So we are going to pass the level index, which you already set that to 6 statically. Then the points, We're just going to have a static point 2 for this particular user, right? So subsequently we're just going to have dynamic stuff, but for now let's just get something on. So here I'm also going to use state to default to give this user a random point, and I'm going to save that. I'm going to come here and also do this. So now when we get here now, we'll be able to see this, but then we don't have this little progress into it. So this is CSS. We are going to go to our global.css and add some style in there. Then we're just going to add some gradient style in there, right? And I'm going to save. So you can see we have that gradient style in here now. So we're going to go back to our page. So the next thing that we're going to be doing now, we want to have we're going to be dealing with images. So I'm just going to bring in the images that I'll be using for this. So we're going to go to the public folder, close this up. So outside of the main root directory, I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it public, and then inside the public I'm just going to paste the images. So this is the Binance logo, all these images I'll be needing, right? So we're going to go back to the pages page. So in our pages now, we are going to paste this somewhere here. So now we are going to import image from next image, from next image. Then we are going to basically define the profit per hour. Just go at the top of my component, and I'm going to paste this there. And also I'm going to import my info icon. Then I'm going to import settings, and then it's now remaining my format profit per hour. So from the sound of this, you can tell that this is a utility function. So we're just going to head over to our modules, and then inside my lib and my utils, and I'm going to define my profits per hour. I'm going to save, format this, and then I'm going to save again, go back to close this guy. Basically let me just close a bunch of things so that we have something. We'll have, so here now we are going to just import the profits per hour, right? So now we have this. So you can see we have our styling up. So the next thing that we want to do now is we want to have daily reward, daily cipher, daily combo. So we're just going to define 3 states for that. So I'm just going to define empty states, empty strings for it. Then we are just going to basically just put this here, and we should be able to have this up. So notice we don't have this animation, so we are just going to quickly add that. So we're just going to define a function, a pure function that will just take care of handling the animation. So basically we're just going to add styles to achieve that. So we're just going to go back to our global.css and add more styling for that. So we're just going to add this here and then save that. Let's just add this styling for this top glow. So I'm going to add the styling for the top glow. You can see now. Then we're just going to go ahead to add the animation. So now we have the animation working. So the next thing now is we want to achieve this right now. We want to achieve this point increment. So we're just going to go to where this guy stops. That should be somewhere here. So I'm just going to put this here and I'm going to save that, and let's see that. So now you can see that we have a static number here, but it's not incrementing on its own. So let's work on that. So we're just going to create a constant that's a point to add every second, and just come right here. We're going to be adding like 11. But before that, let's create the circular image where the hamster is sitting. So I'm just going to put this right here, and then we have a handle cat click, so that when you click on this guy it increments, right? So we need to define a function which is called handle cat click, which is going to take care of that. Then we're just going to come up to this point and then define the handle cat click. So before that, you also need to set a state, which is set click, so that's how much you want to increment when user clicks. So that should sit somewhere here, and then we're just going to save that, and you can see this guy. So we still need to add some styling around him so that we'll have this background or weights in. So now that we have this, we're just going to go back to global.css and add more styling, right? So we are going to add the circular outer styling and save that so you can see this. So you need another styling to make it look like 3D, right? And that is circle inner. So all these classes have already been defined here. So when we go to, when we can see circle outer, right, I can see circle inner. So all these classes has already been in the HTML. So once you define the styling in the global.css, it picks it, right? So now we have this looking good and sitting good. So the next thing we're going to do is, you notice when you click on this guy, it just does some transformation, some animations, right? So we're going to add some styling for that too. So we're going to go over to, still on our global.css, we're just going to add a float and save that. So now you can see when I click on this, it gives you that floating. So now the next thing I want to do is, want to have this animation where when you click, you just see 11 adding up as much as you click, right? So that's the next thing we want to do. So we're just going to go back to our pages. Then before the closing div tag, we're just going to add some functionalities here. So we need to define handle animation end. So I'm just going to go up to this place under this guy, and then I'm going to paste that through, and then I'll save, such that when I click on this guy now, you can see we have this nice animation here. So now remember that this guy is not updating automatically per second. When you click on this, it updates, but if you look at this guy, even without clicking, it just adds some points just for it being on, right? Just for you be checked in, right? So we want to add that functionality now. So you're just going to add some effects, that's use effects. So once the component mount, you want this to happen, right? So just going to import use effects, and then we're just going to also define these functions. So you already know that this is going to be more like a utility function. So we're just going to head to our lib utils, and then we're going to define these functions. So here now we are going to put this here and then save. So here we are going to import it, and then everything is okay. you'll still have to make some extra updates. So now we need to also have another user effect that is going to handle the profits per second. So put it right here, and we're going to also save. And now you can see that we now have that functionality where it's add an amount per second. And also when we click on this, we can see that it increments. So now we have our application up and ready. So I think we just have to define these pages so that they will have where they are going to. So we're just going to come back here in the app. So inside the app, we're just going to create folder, call it the first one is mine. So inside the mine, I'm going to have page.tsx, and then I'm just going to React function component export. I'm just going to say mine page. So once this is saved, so when I come and click on this guy, you can see that this is my page. If I go back, you can see. So I'm going to do the same thing for friends and an airdrop. So app friend page.csx.xx React function components export function extract array function component export. Just going to say, okay, let's see what's happened here. Is it page? No, this should be mine, and this should also be mine, right? Okay, let's just make it mine page just for. So yeah, I'm going to go back to this place. I'm going to make this foreign page. Copy this, put it here, and do the same thing for here. I'm going to save. So when I go to friends, it takes me to friends page, my page, then my exchange. So the next tab is N. Click on app, click on folder icon, then say N, then page.csx, React function component export. I'm going to say and page, copy this guy, put it here, save. The next is airdrop, then app. I'm going to say airdrop page.csx.csx. Then I'm going to ask function arrow components export. Then we are going to have airdrop page. Copy this, put it here. So this is just for placeholder. We're going to subsequently be building out these pages, right? And yeah, we have very similar application to this. So let me just put it in a mobile view. I'm going to select the device. I'm going to select Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. And let me refresh. Okay, so I think we need to do some little touching here. It should be with the layout. So let's go to that should be in the components layouts. UI. So these two guys should actually be moved to UI. Don't know how I made that mistake. So they should move to UI, and let's see. Right, so I think let's try other devices. Let me try S8. Okay, there's no horizontal. So let me go back to S. Okay, I think now we are good. So now we are ready to put our application to Vessel, and then from Vessel to Telegram. So let's go on to vessel.com. And before that, let me push what I've done so far. I'm going to create another terminal, and I'm going to just go through here actually. So I'm just going to say completed exchange, and then I'm going to commit and push, and I'm also going to run npm run build just to make sure everything will build well. Why is this so? Let's see. Vessel.com, why is it not loading? So while you are creating the production build, let's just wait for that to complete. I'm not sure why Vessel is not opening. Alright, so I think our build ran successfully. Alright, so this is my Vessel. If you don't have a Vessel account, it's very easy to just go to vessel.com. Most times you just have to connect your GitHub and all of that. So I'm going to click on new project. So from here, I'm just going to click on import, and then Next.js, just go with what is here. And it's going to take a while. So while that is taking a while, I'm just going to get my Telegram ready. I'm going to go to open Telegram, then find bot father. Yeah, this is the guy I'll be working with. This first thing I'm going to say is new bots, and then let's check on this. Okay, it's still going on. I'm just going to call it mini app tutorial. That's called bots. See, good. Let's use the username. Just going to use the same thing. Let's hope someone else hasn't taken it. Okay, it works. Then the next thing is I'm going to say slash new app. So I write a new web app, which bot will be offering the web app. So I'm going to use mini app bot. Create a new web app for this. Please enter a title for the web app. So I'm just going to say mini app tutorial bots. I was going to say the same thing. Then please upload a photo. I think I used to have some photo in my desktop. Let me find it. Okay, there should be on the list. So just paste this. Send. I see if that goes. New upload. So I'm just going to empty, no problem. Okay. So now it's asking me for the link to my application. Okay, fine, we are up. So I'm just going to click on this guy and then grab this guy, come back, paste this guy, enter. Now please choose a short name for your app. So just going to copy this guy's username. Many app tutorial, but that works. You can now use many app tutorial bots as a short name parameter value input. Your web app link is this. So if I click on this, I say launch app, mini app will look to continue, and here we have it. We have our application on Telegram, so you can go ahead to search this. You'll be able to do this there, right? So this is really great, and thank you guys for watching up to this point. This is a very long video, and we are going to be dishing out more mini app contents, referrals, tackling different functionalities on the mini app that is everywhere now. Do well to stick around, subscribe, like, share, and drop your comments. Have any question, drop it down in the comments. I'll be glad to read them and reply to you. And that should be it, and see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.